Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Hi, and welcome to All Things Military from the Department of Defense in Washington. I'm Scott Howe.
Brooke Army Medical Center, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Who knew that speaking to someone in orbit 250 miles above the planet, this planet, was now so easy?
Brooke Army Medical Center, welcome aboard the International Space Station. I have you loud and clear.
And just like that, you're talking to Colonel Andrew Morgan, a medical doctor in the U.S. Army, and currently an astronaut aboard the International Space Station.
I'm 100% product of a military education, from my undergraduate to my medical school to my residency training to my tactical and operational training. 100% product of the military system.
A large group from that system, staff, patients, and family members, gathered in San Antonio at Brooke Army Medical Center, or BAMC as they call it, to talk with Morgan. And they gave a big cheer when he revealed his maroon-colored BAMC t-shirt worn under his flight suit and spun an elaborate three-dimensional medallion of the BAMC logo in the zero-gravity atmosphere.
Oh, look at this.
Fire away with the questions.
Okay, so what time is it in space?
We operate on Greenwich Mean Time, so a couple hours, 6 hours ahead of your time. And so I go to bed around the same time I do on Earth, and I wake up about the same time. I generally get about 7 or maybe 7.5 hours of sleep at night. What I do find is that without the effects of gravity, I find that I toss and turn less, and I think that in many ways that my sleep is actually more restful.
The space station is made up of several different modules all docked together.
They are about the volume of a 5-bedroom house. And while that doesn't sound like a lot of space, especially when you're here inside it for 9 months with the exception of a few spacewalks, it actually turns out that it feels quite spacious. With only 6 of us on board, you can actually go the entire day and not bump into everybody because everybody has a job in a different part of the space station.
One of the major purposes of the station is to study human physiology and psychology under unique conditions.
Just amongst ourselves, astronauts say that when we first arrive on the space station for the first couple weeks, we have something called space brain, where we just find that it's harder to process things, and we don't have a good explanation for it. It's probably a variety of things about the environment. So lots of unanswered questions, and I will tell you, though, that my experience has been after 6 to 8 weeks, I felt like I was thinking normally, but in general, when I first arrived, I felt like things were slower, things were harder for me to process.
In 20 years, the station has had 239 different occupants from 19 nations.
My crew right now is international. There are 3 Americans, 2 Russians, and an Italian astronaut on board with me. And I think what we are demonstrating up here is that no matter what happens on the ground, we are capable of coming together as nations and solving some really complicated problems. And we've maintained this International Space Station up here with a continuous human presence on board for 20 years now. And I think that's a remarkable feat, and I think it will be one of the lasting legacies of the International Space Station program.
Colonel Morgan arrived aboard ISS in July. He'll be there until April.
Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.
That's our story. There is so much more to know about the International Space Station, and nasa.gov is the place to find it. Learn more about your military on our website, defense.gov. We'll see you next time.